Don't you hate it when you go to a restaurant, you order ravioli, you end up with something rather fancy looking like that, but you're kind of like, where's the rest of it? Like, seriously, where is it? Well, today I'm going to attempt being the key word, to fix that by making a giant spinach and ricotta ravioli that should definitely fill you up.
Ravioli the size of a pizza, mate. What could go wrong?
Okay, spinach and ricotta filling needs, well, spinach and ricotta. We'll probably put a few other bits in too. 500 grams of ricotta, we'll come on to that in a bit. Loads of spinach. It's kind of like another meme, you know, when you cook spinach up and you end up with like literally nothing on a plate. Hopefully that won't be the case. We might actually see this meme play out in real time now, because look, this is all the spinach I've got. Oh my gosh. Oh no, some of it's gone on the floor. That is an absolute mountain of spinach. That ain't good. That's the biggest frying pan I've got. This looks like baby food, but it's actually some garlic paste. That's just purely flavor, but something that might help this situation a moment is a little bit of water. No, I thought that might weigh it down a little bit. Just for reference, that's how high that spinach is right now. And that bowl was almost full with it. So we'll be using that again to put it all together. A big garlicky, spinachy mountain, but will it wilt to something the size of that? All right, a few minutes later, look at that, completely wilted up now. In fact, the stalks out of everything are the things holding strong in there. We're left with this greeny water residue, I guess spinach water. I'm gonna just simmer and reduce that down. However, I am quite tempted to have a little drink of it. That's actually not too bad. So let's push that in there. It's still a little wet, I don't mind that. But let's add in some things just to get it going. Obviously, we've already got the garlic paste in there. It does smell of garlic spinach, to be fair, which is quite good. So salt, pepper, shimmy and nutmeg, lemon zest as well. It's like a sandcastle of ricotta. Can I do another one? Oh, there we go. Look at that. Brilliant. Spinach and ricotta is one of my favorite combos. But we don't want to put this in a tiny parcel of ravioli. Oh no! This is going to be one gigantic blob. I just hope I've not made it too heavy. So this is obviously a roughly standard size ravioli. Obviously you have them in like a square shape or you get them in a round shape, and this was the dilemma I've been thinking about of how to try and achieve that, to make it as big as I can using practical stuff I've got around the house. So first up I thought, oh no, I could do a round ravioli using this massive pizza tin that I've got. The only problem is it's got holes in it and we want to try and submerge it in water. I thought, okay, I can put it in foil, build up the sides really strong, but if any of that water, and it will seep through the holes, starts to form a pouch, that is literally going to turn my oven into an aquarium. So I binned that one off. This was similar to trying to do like a square version, a square baking tray, try and raise that up, but again, it would probably run off to the sides. I really needed, if I had another one with a bit more lippage on it to hold the water in, it's possible. Then I mold over the frying pan, which we've used for the spinach. Not too bad, but I'm worried it will just sit at the bottom. And also I think I could make it bigger. Then I come up with this beastie dish, which is insane. It's really heavy. I could make the ravioli roughly that size. It could sit in there. However, with the curved edges, I'd probably have to make it smaller. So I'm going to get creative with something that pretty much came with my oven. So this is actually the roasting tray from my house that came with the oven. It's the same dimensions, but what we've got is a really deep edge here, which enables us, in fact, I've just realized this rack alone is the template size of our giant ravioli potentially. So that should be able to slot in here. We can fill this area with water, cover it with foil to stop it burning whilst it's in the oven, and effectively try and steam it. I'm worried that the weight of it might make it sit and hit the bottom, but that's good because it'll submerge and cook better. So that's my plan, a sort of rack template, tented foil water bath. But of course, we haven't made the dough yet, so let's do it. Okay, so obviously I'm not gonna have a pasta machine for this. We are gonna have to just roll it out by hand. Here are 6 eggs, yolks and whites, okay? We've got these like really orangey yolks to them, like real sort of depth of color. So I'm kind of hoping we still get that homemade pasta hue. All I need to do is basically make 2 big old carpets to fuse together. So we want to see if we can get it quite strong as well, ideally. I think it is going to need a little bit of help. It is getting there, but we normally would add egg yolks anyway. So I've actually got 4 here. So this will enhance the color, give it some richness, I guess some protein too, but also structure and a little bit of elasticity, which for ravioli typically is pretty good. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I think I just need something with a bit more power than a table fork. You did well though, mate. You would normally when it's a much smaller batch. Right. Whizzy whizzy. I mean, it's looking all right, but it's really rough at the moment, and an Italian nonna would not take that. So I'm gonna knead it all together, and already just by doing a few little pushes like that, it is taking some of that roughness out. I wanna get it as smooth as I can, this gigantic orange blob. You're gonna be ravioli, mate. Okay, like genuinely, I'm absolutely out of breath. It looks like a gigantic egg yolk right now. So we're gonna let it chill, have a rest. I need a rest too. Thinking about it, maybe I should have sliced that in half to make rolling out the two pieces easier and maybe even, but we'll worry about that later. It can go right in there next to the filling. You are gonna be surrounded by that in a bit. I'm generally, whilst that is chilling, working out what the heck I'm gonna do like with cooking it. I need to have a way to lift it out. It's really confusing me, I'm not sure. So I think I've got a solution. We know that this is roughly the max we can go to, including the crimping. One of my silicone baking mats is pretty much the same width, at least, of the mat, so that's perfect. That way we can build it on there and then at least have something to sort of get under to lift it up and plop it in there still with this underneath so that we can then get it out, hopefully, once it cooks. That's the theory. It does feel like it's a bit more pliable, but I am gonna halve it. Oh my gosh, yes, there's absolutely loads here. Massive respect to all the Italian nonnas now. If you go to Italy and you see one down the side of an alleyway making a giant ravioli, please do let me know. But look, I'm getting this really thin. So if I use my tray as the outline. Yes! Oh, that's awesome. That is, oh yeah, it's really strong, folks. It's really strong. Yep. And then getting it out like this. So I'm sticking it in the fridge. Yeah, it's really strong. And we'll do the same with this one. All right, so here's our one out of the fridge. It's very nice and firm now. The filling is going in the middle. Just gonna give this one extra roll. But what I'm gonna do is take some water and just brush it along the sides here, because that should hopefully bond the two layers together. That is the most important thing. Here we go. Oh. It looks like a beach hat. Right, wavy lines. Am I gonna regret doing this? Ugh. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing. What a ridiculous idea. A very light pinch together, just in case. It looks so good. I think that's enhanced it too. I mean, it's a pretty robust filling. I don't think it's really gonna escape too far. We got all of it in there though. Oh, that's heavy. The only problem we've got is the dome is higher than this ridge, which is where the foil tent will come in. But it's encased in there. Kind of looks like something that should live in the sea. It's going in there so it's not gonna dry out, and I'm just gonna have 5 minutes to think about whether I boil the kettle to kickstart it or just to put it in with cold water. I've been stood here like 15 minutes thinking, I don't know what to do. Genuinely, for the life of me, I'm not sure like if steaming it is gonna like, the boiling water will cook like the bottom section and the top bit will kind of be raw. Or whether to like try and like foil it up higher like I talked about with the other ones to create a wall so that water could go up higher to completely submerge it. Oh, this is so hard, honestly. What would you do right now? Apart from getting me to make it for you. This is one of the most times ever, and I've been in harder situations than this, as you've seen. I'm genuinely stumped. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go out to the shops and see if I can get a massive baking dish. Because it is high, but it's not that high. If I can get a real deep one, it could work. It's just gonna get me out of the house for 5 minutes, innit? There is this thing, which is absolutely gigantic, and I can boil it on the hob like normal pasta. Actually, Alex, one of the 4 people that did work experience, was in there, so I said hello to him, and we found this gigantic dish. It will 100% fit in there, and despite those dimensions, I think it should fit in too. It was 30 quid and very flimsy. It will not go in the oven. So in true ravioli style, we can potentially cook this on the hob the way ravioli should. It's just how the heck am I going to get it out? Oh gosh. Even still, it's still going to be too big. I've kind of got two things. At least the pasta can flop up the sides a little bit. It does just look like a gigantic sun hat though. Sit that in there. Oh my word. Oh my word. It's blooming in there. Fully submerge it. Pinch of salt as well. We can see the top starting to just get covered now. Watch it go. Here we go, here we go. Complete coverage, look at that. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh, that's heavy. Get on there. But it's in there now, whatever happens, happens. What a strange day. Right, I'm gonna stop it there. A tiny little hole has just appeared in the top of it, which makes me think if I leave it much longer, it's just about to hit a boil. So it's actually been at that temperature for a very long time. If I leave it much more, it could completely rip open and I don't want that. So that is red hot. If I put my hands in there, we're gonna be like making some crazy noises. We'll let it cool for a little bit, but I think leaving a little bit of moisture in there, once it's safer to handle, will actually help me get it out onto whatever thing I'm going to serve it on, which again, of course, I've not thought of that. See, the water's gone quite murky as well. As it was cooking, I just gave it a little scrape on the top because it looked like there was a film on there and it suddenly just went completely cloudy like that. I could see a little bit of orange. So it could be that this is actually a two-tone ravioli right now. We might have to do some scraping. So what I'm going to do now is actually pour out the majority of that warm water, see if we can do any of that scraping, but also add some cold because we don't want to overcook our giant ravioli. Oh no. I'm just adding in some cold water now, just to soothe it a little bit. Honestly, look at that. Awesome. So here we go. It feels like I'm trying to lift a gigantic pasta fish. It's gonna slide off. It's actually gonna slide off. Look at this. Look at this. It's actually worked. Okay, it's curved up slightly from that pan, but in a weird way, there's something yes, there's something quite nice about that, and it's sitting on the plate. What the heck was that? So we decorate giant ravioli. I was gonna do the melted butter, but I think I kind of want to give it a little tribute to, I guess, one of the more popular ways to have it. So some tomato sauce, loads of pepper, a good old shimmy of Parmesan. And I did buy some sage anyway, so let's sprinkle some of that on. You know, although a butter drizzle would look good, I think the tomato sauce just makes it punch a little bit. That is a giant ravioli. It's gonna be cold, but let's see what it tastes like. Okay, so I've just put it in the microwave for like 10 seconds. I probably won't warm it through that much, but it might make it smell a bit nicer. Whoa, it does smell nicer, and you know what? I was determined, whatever happens, to have this on one plate. Ooh, bit of steam coming off that. Straight into that ricotta. I hope you don't mind, I probably won't eat it all. I mean, that's a separate video entirely. Oh, it is warm. The filling is gorgeous. The pasta is sort of, it's like really soft and delicate, but it just like seems to like, it was almost like partially like chewing gum, which I think I prefer. It's like a massive gnocchi. You know how gnocchi's got that sort of like slightly firmer texture to it? Oh, it works though. I mean, there was one thing that I said right at the start of the video about how you go to a restaurant, you're like really disappointed with the portion they give you. Like generally if it's like 3 or 4 on a plate, it's surprising, it does fill you up. Which is where all of a sudden, despite all of this effort, it kind of makes me lose my appetite a bit. It's good. I mean, I don't know if this is the future. I don't know if there's some random restaurant that actually does a full-size ravioli instead of a pizza, or for personal. Maybe, I think this would work really well as a sharer, which is kind of like defeats the entire point of this video. But the point of this video was to see if we could make it work. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. I've enjoyed it. We've learned. I've been out in the shops. I bought a massive pan that I might not ever need again. It's been a laugh. I've enjoyed myself. And ultimately, yes, it does look a little bit like a sun hat, but we have made a gigantic ravioli. But now we've sort of nailed the process. There were so many elements today where that could have failed, even when I lifted it out like the fish, but having that cover and a little bit of water there gave it enough to slide it all off, thank goodness. Over the years, I've picked up these like random bizarre tips. Would I make it again? I don't know, but it did work. And it was very, very tasty. Maybe make it to impress your friends as a bit of a sharer. Gigantic saucepan, mandatory. See you later. Well, if there was any doubt, here is the standard size ravioli. This is spinach and ricotta as well, but this is certainly its elder sibling indeed. A little bit savage now, but the flavors on there were awesome. A real fun project. See you next time.